You hot?
I'm hot. I'm ready to roll, baby.
Go ahead.
Hey, how's it going, fam? Fam, we back again. We've been having some building issues and everything, and Spider been trying, man. You got to give this brother credit, man. Give this brother a shout out, man.
Appreciate
Trying to get everything, back, nailed down again. And we would like to say, hey, thank you for being patient. And we back again. We back riding. I'm driving. Spider say he go sit back a little bit, kind of ride around with me. He'll open up the door for you ladies and everything, let you come on in. He's still a gentleman. And we like to say, good morning to our queens and stuff, Miss Trudy, Vicky Williams, of course, my wife and everything. And, plus, our parents are still living. We're blessed to have our parents.
Yeah.
And they out here, man. We like to say, hello to them. And we got a lot of kind of different topics, I kind of picked up on this week. I didn't just really, emphasize on one or two like we normally do. This time, kind of drove around the corner a little bit and picked up a few things. What I was looking at, Spider, was I look back, I was watching the History Channel. And it's one thing that I guess all of us didn't know, that it was a young man that was lynched in Mississippi a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
I saw
man.
That, yeah.
And that really, it didn't surprise me, but this stuff is still going on like they did with Mr. Bird back in '98 down in Jasper, Texas.
Right.
And
who funeral paid for by Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, Dennis Rodman. People don't even know that. He kept that a secret, a hush hush, for a long time, man. And Attorney Crump has been down there in and it's not Hattiesburg, Mississippi, but it's in Fayette, Mississippi. And they are still trying to investigate and see what was going on and why this young man was brutally lynched. And it's one thing we got to understand, that we have to start recognizing that, hey, we are going to have to learn that, this stuff still exists today. And, it's a problem. It's a problem that's been going on. And I tell young brothers all the time, the farm, like you have a farm system in baseball, you have a farm system in the prison system, which, transform you. You start off in high school by going to in-house, from in-house, leads you up to going to the city jail, from the city jail, then you're at the county jail. And it's just a farm system. And it's one thing we're going to get an understanding. We're going to get back to raising our young brothers how to be men, not how to be boys, but how to be men. And a lot of us are going to have to get back in the program and being mentors to these young brothers and let them know that, hey, look, man, this is not the way. And sometimes we look at athletes and you're saying, well, you're going this way, you're going to, I'm going to tie everything in. When you look at athletes that's undisciplined, where does it come from?
Yeah, I wrote a letter to the University of Mississippi coach.
Wow.
What's his name? Lane Kiffin.
Yeah.
Weekend, cause the tornado down there, that maybe they can go get some of the football players, go to the community, visit the community, so they can get that, discipline and life skill and see what life really about.
Right.
Enroll in Fork and Silver Leaf, I think that's the name of the two rural towns. So
man, you hit
sometimes
right on the head,
kids need to just go see what's life all about. And since it's happening, but I hadn't received nothing back, but I won't be surprised that I may get some. So to hear you say that, yeah,
it's a blessing. A lot, my great aunt, who also helped raise me, Miss Lily Harrison, man, and she used to always tell me that sometimes if you won't change, you got to go inflict change.
Yeah,
you have to stand up and say, hey, you know what? This is what I see, and this is what things that need to be, turned around. And down in Mississippi, man, that's sad, man. That's sad, man, because I didn't see nothing that was left at that time of 2,500 people.
No.
2,000 or something. I don't know what the population is, but I didn't see nothing, man, that even resembled a city in Rolling Fork. I saw something that looked like, man, something out of what they call it, prehistoric years or something like that. I never saw anything that devastating, man. And I know weather, can really be devastating. Tornadoes can come in, man, and just rip this whole building apart.
Yeah.
But it looked like, man, it was just like bombshells, man. Somebody just ripped that whole town apart, man.
And that state's already a poor state.
Yes, funds. We don't get funds there often, man.
It's one of the lowest education-wise. It's got the highest black population rate for a state. Jackson, Mississippi, got the highest crime rate.
Oh man,
it's 80% black. Jackson. Also, about Mississippi is the literacy rate is so low for education purposes, and then the per capita income, where a person thinks like 28,000, 22,000 a year. So it's a foreign country in the United States of America. I'm gonna say it's a foreign poor country, and it's right in our back door.
And that's sad, man. And you look at it every day. I went to Jackson one time, and me and my wife and I, we were coming through Jackson, and I was able to see, man, it amazes me, and I'm not ratting on Jackson in any kind of way. Shotgun houses.
Yeah,
I used to hear my parents talk about that, and you might have seen, just driving down the road, sometime in rural areas when you're growing up, and you always had this one uncle that we always had to jump in the car with him.
Yeah,
he'd take you riding, and then you would see these little tiny houses, and you said, "Man, what those?" And he would say, "Oh, those shotgun houses."
So you can see from the front to the back.
That's it,
See
man.
through, yeah.
That shocked me, man.
And the rooms didn't have doors on
at all, man.
Yeah.
You could just go straight.
Yeah,
stop your car.
Living room here. Then get in the house. It'd be a bedroom here, a big kitchen, a bedroom, a back porch.
And no running baths.
Yeah.
No running baths. Yeah. Outhouses, man. And that was like, to me, I said to myself, I never could understand this. Now I'm beginning to see and beginning to get the picture a little bit.
Yeah, outhouses is where I don't know what we do with our plumbing today.
I would, yeah.
I mean, we are be blessed for the common thing when you look at outhouses. I remember my grandmother had one. We had to go. It was in the back, way back of the house, and you had to go.
This way you went.
You went.
Well, my father and them, and this was all the way up. My stepfather in Waldo, Arkansas.
Waldo, right down the road from Magnolia.
Right down, from Magnolia. Your stepfather, something ground.
Yeah.
Stamps. Louisville.
Yeah, all that.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I kind of hung out there a little bit. But the thing that amazes me was when I got there, I said, I guess I was about 13 or 14, Spider. I said, man, I really got to go and use the bathroom. And the guy said, well, yeah. He said, you can go down, up around these trees, and it's a little shack. I'm like, shack? I said, no, man, I can just go in the house,
I see the shack.
Yeah, and that was the outhouse. And that's what I had to go, I guess you could say, and report, and do what I had to do. But I couldn't, it was amazing to me that that's what it was called, the outhouse. And I couldn't, it stunned me, man. Yeah. And I'm out here just running. I said, oh, man, I got to go. And he said, no, man. He said, you got to go to this little house right there on the corner. And, man, if you don't understand life, I start waking up and understanding life then.
Oh, yeah.
It really inspired me and, to do a lot of things and research. And it got me more deeply into my reading. That's why I got this book right here called The Practical History of the Negro in America. A lot of people hadn't even heard of this book. This book I dug out of Samuel High School that was getting ready to be thrown away back in 1998.
Well,
that's how long I've been having this book.
It's so many families, their students, I said students are, where their kids are not up on African American history and books like that. That started at home because the library, no matter how much internet or how much you own online, which is great, but you still need to go and put your hand, touch it with your hand, put your eyes in to get a quiet place, and find the best material in the world It's at the library. Sorry about that, but at the library. So for you to have that, and you always can go pick it up.
Yes,
Not go search for nothing, just pick it up.
I could. I could just pick it up.
And go to a chapter you working on or looking at. Yeah.
This is written by Langston Hughes, has some writings in this. I don't know who Mesler was. Lincoln, the guy that what's this guy's first name? He wrote a book on the Nation of Islam back in the 60s, late 60s, mid to late 60s, when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was over it and everything, which his students were, Malcolm, Minister Farrakhan, guys like that, great guys that went on to do, great things in our country.
Right.
And this guy wrote a book on that. But this research right here, this book right here was so thorough. I had a nephew that taught school in New Orleans, and when he graduated from Dillard, they offered him a position at one of the local high schools.
Right.
He was able to teach. He said, Unc, I was able to teach just about everything that, I could think of from this book. And it goes all the way back. And I want to touch on some things called lynching. What is lynching in this country? What did lynching represent to us in this country? It represented fear to the black man, because the black man knew that the criminal system, which is supposed to work for all of us in this country, didn't work for them, because a mob could come get you out of jail, take you
out your bed.
Out your bed. You could be in bed with your family, as they did the young brother Emmett Till, for no reason at all, and you still couldn't prove to this day that he whistled at this lady, Carolyn Bryant, that's still, matter of fact, 88 or 89 years old, still living today.
But one of the things about lynching also, it's a way to display the power.
Exactly.
You're still in charge.
Yeah.
Yeah, they weren't going to shoot you. They weren't going to cut you up.
No.
They were going to let you hang and show that, okay, like a piece of meat.
Yeah.
My prize.
And they would dismember your body, take certain body parts, and as a souvenir, they would do certain things, and it was a festival that went on in this country.
It was a picnic.
It was a picnic. People came out and celebrated that.
Yeah,
white people came out and celebrated that. They was very, very much into lynching a black man. I had by you saying doing research, I researched it, had a distant cousin of my grandmother in Waco, Texas in 1918 that was lynched in Waco, Texas, because they said that he looked at a white woman.
Oh, yeah. Crossing
the street. And the white woman said, he didn't look at me. She said, I couldn't even tell you to this day. But they lynched him.
Well, that's one of the things, we say, oh, I want to live in this generation. If I had a chance to go back. No, you have to think about it. Yeah. By me going out this office door, I'm going downstairs, a white woman passed by me, I look at her.
Yep.
And then they say I'm going to the pen. No.
We got lynched. We would go to jail. They might keep you there for a few days. But that's anxiety in itself. You agonizing over your faith because you know what was going to happen to your faith.
Mm-hmm.
But yet and still, the white man at night would come down, tip around at your home, leave the white woman, go down to the slave quarters, wherever he wanted to go, and do his business, and nothing happened to him. Now, white man, and I researched it, has ever been convicted of raping a black woman in this country, in the United States, in this 2020.
Oh, I believe that. You heard about that police officer in Oklahoma.
The first one that I read about that got sent to prison. You know why he got sent to prison? Because of white lady.
Yeah,
white lady told him.
He got 25 or 24 black girls he'd been raping.
Mm-hmm. And one lady was coming home from work, and her daughter and son was waiting on her. And he just followed her all the way home, and then took her, said something to her while she got in the car with him. Don't know till this day. Only she can answer that question. Mm-hmm. And then he took her to a secluded area, raped her. She saw his badge number and everything. She went back and filed a complaint. But it wasn't until they took the words of 2 white prostitutes. That's just like me going out there randomly saying something to that white lady.
It's like the black boy didn't have no credence.
Yeah.
Didn't have none at all, no matter if it's 26, 46, 56. Let's get one white in with something.
Yeah, yeah. Out of all of these years, and
Yeah.
I'm throwing it out here to the family to understand this, and how you shape how you shape yourself, your imagination, how you shape your
Yeah.
mindset. That's you.
It's
But this is history.
yeah.
That's they're trying to dilute right now. They're trying to knock all of this history out to where you don't have any concept or anything that went on. If hey, you don't know anything about your past,
What,
how you gonna have a
what
present?
about your future?
That's
And
right.
that's why I'm a big component of taking down statues.
Me too.
The reason I am is like Confederate statues around the South, whatever. The reason I'm a big component of it is that
You really put your time and energy in that.
well, what you gonna put in replacement it? So
Gotcha.
if you take a statue down of Robert E. Lee, take a statue down of Thomas Jefferson because for uh, he was for slavery or he treated the slave bad, whatever.
Same with George Washington.
So George Washington. So if these people was racist, what you gonna put in that spot? You need a President Obama. You need a W.E. Du Bois so people can know who these people is.
Yeah.
See,
And see, people don't even understand that Dr. King, and I was going to bring this up later on in the show, and we got a special guest coming down the road in a few more weeks. Brother Odinga, said he wants to come, and
share
some things with us. But people didn't even know that Dr. King started carrying a gun in his latter
wow.
years. Yeah, it happened.
I can see that.
What had happened, they were praying one day in a city in Alabama. I can't recall which one.
Mm-hmm.
And they passed by a white mob. And somebody just threw a brick, and the brick just missed Reverend Abernathy.
Mm-hmm.
And so Dr. King, and it's not a joke, there's nothing to laugh at. He said this is the first time he ever prayed with his eyes open. And he said after that, he went back to his room and he started listening to the younger people that said, hey, like Stokely Carmichael,
Yeah.
later became, later became Kwame Ture. He went back and he talked to those guys. Those guys said, hey, we're not taking it anymore. We're going to go down here. We're going to register the vote. We're going to fight fire back with fire. Right. This was in Mississippi at that time. And he was telling them that's not the way to do it. But as he started thinking, I am putting my life on the line. I am, I'm going to jail. Yeah, I'm going to jail for a cause, but I'm putting my life on the line. He said, here my kids are at home with my wife, my few, 4 little children. He said, I'm putting their lives at stake. Because, his house was bombed the time or two.
Yeah.
And so he left a gun at home and he started packing the gun with him.
Yeah.
He said, hey, man, he said, if I'm going to go out then, he said, this is the way I have to go out.
Like a soldier.
Yeah. He said, because only way you're going to confront fear, you confront fear with fear. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You don't run from fear. A coward only runs from fear. Mm-hmm. Fear makes a coward out of all of us.
So was the Dr. King an athlete?
He said at one time he was a heck of a baseball player.
Baseball player.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because back then that was the thing to be.
That was the thing to be.
You want to be a baseball player.
And people don't even know it. He also played a little football where he was a quarterback because they always said he could think and he had the mobility because he was only like, maybe 5'8", 5'9". He wasn't really a tall guy. Mm-hmm. But back then, during that time, he was considered, at his time, in his prime, a pretty good athlete. Yeah.
So what else you got on tap?
What else we got on tap is right here, man. We're going to slowly get back into the sports side of it. And, because that's what we do. Mm-hmm. And I had just finished up on a little research on a few more baseball, logics and things like that. We came in. That was a beautiful show by Brother Darrell. And I hope he, comes back, and graces us again, Brother Darrell Black.
Darrell Black.
Yeah, man, that was beautiful. Elite News, baby. Yeah. He came in and he, he blasted us, man. People still talking about that show right now.
So, yeah.
But the thing I'm looking at is you got a lot of young men that's getting ready for the NFL draft. You got a lot of young men training, going through the formalities. Some have dropped out of school because they feel like, hey, it's been, told to them they're going to be high, draft picks and things that's coming up. And this is April the 1st. So we're looking at April the 28th through the 30th is the NFL draft. The first round is on the 28th and the next rounds are the 28th and the 30th. So that's the last weekend of this month. These young men are training. You got some of these guys that we see downstairs that play for the Arena Football League. Some of those guys are going to be getting ready, maybe getting free agent offers where they can go out. Not Arena Football League, excuse me, the XFL. Yeah, that's all the teams are played right here in Dallas, right out there at Arlington Stadium. And you getting these guys ready and training, for this. And it's going to be some guys that's going to be, making a lot of money. It's going to be some guys that we're going to know. And I brought the book, Pro Football Draft from Lindy's, the book that Roger B. and myself, great Roger B. used to read. And he turned me on to it. He said, man, read this book. And it gives you a lot of thorough backgrounds and readings on some of these guys, their 40 times, their height, sizes. A lot of times, they used to lie. They say a guy was, 6'4", this and that. And actually, he was maybe 6'2".
6'2".
Yeah.
Well, one of the things about NFL draft coming up is that I used to be coming up. I had all the books on football. I couldn't wait football season, even the draft. But as I got older, NFL football, of all my sports that I watched, it's probably number 3.
Really?
Yeah, but my first one it'll be NBA.
Okay.
My second would be college football, and NFL would be third.
Wow.
And one of the reasons is, I guess I done become the Farrakhan to myself about NFL football, where the slaves is more of a slave market, which all of them is, but it's more prevalent because there's no guaranteed contracts.
None.
Your lifespan is 4 years,
if that,
and you have to go play a sport that not only your money not guaranteed like other sports. You go play a sport where you're not in the rotation to continue to work for a company with whoever draft you. Just say the Cowboys or whatever. So a lot of those guys wind up still broke, and it's supposed to be the best day in their life, draft day, but it turned out to be down the road. It's my least favorite because when you look at it, at one time, all the guaranteed contract is started because the guy was the major quarterback.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So they kept saying, "Oh, he's the most intricate piece." Considering you got the offensive guard. Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
Look at your Trevor
but that's the thing. But that's the thing that I like. What I do like about football is that when the guys make their deal, they make their deal.
Yeah.
Because they know that they're gonna get theirs, so let me get mine.
Right.
And I think that what happened. We live here in Dallas, Texas. I'm speaking of Zeke Elliott.
Okay.
They used him up, got what they needed, and that was it. But then they asked and had the nerve to ask, should they use his lyrics?
Here's another thing. They, instead of retiring his number, keeping his number out of the system.
Think about somebody,
They had the nerve to what you're saying is correct. They had the nerve to say, okay, we're going to give you a number out to Stephon Gallimore, and that's not a knock on Stephon or anything like that. But Zeke deserved to have that number. Kind of nobody's deserved to wear that number right now because of things that he did. Now he was a soldier. He brought in money to that organization. Let's capitalize off of this.
And this is the other thing that getting is that you and I don't know. We speculate. They said Zeke got $50 million guaranteed. But
there's no guarantee.
There's no guarantee in NFL. There's no guarantee money.
I don't know why they keep saying something like that.
There's no guarantee.
There's no guarantee. He might have got a percentage.
They call monopoly money.
That's it.
They move it around.
That's why they're able to sign other guys. And that's the thing that throws me. And I'm like you on that 100%. Now you say, okay, this guy got, he got like $100 million guaranteed. No, he didn't. That money is percentages.
Percentage,
because you can use that's monopoly money because you can play with it over and over again. You go out there and sign 2 or 3 players. Now, okay, if you're giving him let's say that much guarantee, and then you come back 2 or 3 years later, you say, okay, we restructured this contract. All we did was just extended it for a year.
And you move some money around.
Yeah. Where you can go out and sign the Stephon Gallimore, the Brandon Cooks. Yeah, I'm talking about your Dallas Cowboys. these are people that you can go out and sign
And-
other, you know, defensive
And
players.
I think the fan is so caught up in the jersey and the
Yeah,
team and the new stadium and all that.
yeah.
They get lost into the financial part of the business.
Yeah.
They got you cheering for them to be gone tomorrow.
But see, Jerry is capitalized. All of these owners, and you only got one minority owner. That's Khan. That's up in Jacksonville. A lot of people look at me and say, "Oh, you know, this is my team." That's a good team. And I ask this question all the time to my brother-in-law. He's a big San Francisco fan. I said, "Now, which part of San Francisco?" I said, "Which part of?" I said, "Do you have any stock in the 49ers?" And then he stopped in his track. I said, "How much money are you getting to represent them? How much money are they paying you, you know, to represent them?" I said, "You're not capitalizing off of one penny, not one penny off of anything that any other of these NFL teams give it. Not even the players are really capitalized. No. The capitalist society in which we live in is based upon the whom? The owners are the ones getting rich.
They the owners getting richer and richer. So
and they got and a lot of this money that these owners do have is generational money.
Yeah, it's generational.
You know what I mean?
They like the Ford family owned Detroit. Like generational
money.
Jerry Jones owned the Cowboys.
Generational money.
Yeah.
His family would never, ever be without. They will always have money. And we sitting up here as Black Americans, as I say, you know, people say we're African Americans, say Black Americans, and we're sitting, this is our team, this is who we're going to. And I'm not knocking these young men for following their dreams because this is what they know. This is what they see. But how many of young black men you say, and I'm gonna say young black women are really in the management? You only have one guy in the Cowboy organization that's really up there that sits with Jerry and them, and he's their token. That's Will Clay.
Will Clay, yeah.
He came from arena football.
Well, that's one thing that other races do, that they don't. It's hard for you to see a black person in the decision making.
It's really hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard. Now he's there, you know, and he's supposed to be making these grand decisions and things like that. But they are showing you we have one. We have our token. And sometimes when you sit back and you see that, we kind of go to sleep on that. All these sportscasters that you see, how many of them actually played?
They talked about that last week.
I mean, but they can talk on you. Yeah. They can bring you on the show. They can comment. They can say derogatory things about athletes and derogatory things about what's been said about women athletes, women's sports. And none of those guys, how many of those guys have actually played the sport?
My beef is with the Stephen A. and all the other guys is that they ain't playing that level. But how they try to make covering Alfred Williams, a player for the Cincinnati Bengals, they make it more personal instead about the industry. Exactly. Say, hey, welcome back to the show, First Take. We're talking about Alfred Williams. He's been averaging 150 yards a game, down 20 yards this week. That's what I want to hear. Yeah. I don't want to hear that, oh, well, you know, he was playing over there with Ferragamo. He had an offensive line. We know that.
Yeah.
But we don't want to hear that negative rhetoric.
But you gave Vince Ferragamo was the first white quarterback, might have been Joe Namath, that really benefited. I seen in my time, I understood the logic of really benefiting from a contract. It's funny that you bring him when he signed with the Montreal Alouettes. You see what I'm saying? He was with the Los Angeles Rams, Carl Rosenblum, you know, and next thing you know, but they wouldn't pay Eric Dickerson.
But see,
and they let him walk, your star running back, your franchise player. But you also now look at Vince Ferragamo. He told them, "I'm gonna walk."
Well, I used to.
It's funny you brought that name up for blast from the past.
I used to feel that way, but y'all understood that the owners have more in common with a white athlete than a black athlete, no matter how much. You hear him say, "Oh, I love what's his name? The guy, Cowboy receiver. I love Mike Irvin. Oh, yeah. Mike Irvin that. But you know, I know it is Mike Carr, but when you say you love him, you don't get the same treatment as a white athlete.
No.
Because, for example, Van Der Red should have been gone.
Yeah. Slow.
Should have been gone.
Stiff. But you know, still you signing Bobby Wagner to that same money a better athlete all day long and understands defenses, you go back and
Now,
sign.
did he go back to Seattle?
He went back to Seattle.
Wow.
See, so this is what I'm saying. You would do something like that, but you know what the old trick to that is, Spider, is that I sign people that look like me.
Well, I
trust people that look like me.
I had a guy about a year ago told me something that makes so much sense. He said, "It's 28 team, a 32 team NFL, 32."
32.
He said everybody ain't trying to go to Super Bowl.
No.
He said
No.
most of the team there to make money. They care less about going to Super Bowl.
Cowboys.
Yeah.
Jerry would sell that dream to a dog if he listened off and off and off and off and off and off and off. You know, they sell that dream to the public. Cowboy, I say public, which is majority, I say cowboy fans. They sell that all the time. And you got people, but think about this, how you can have people from another city that wear nothing but your team paraphernalia. Think about that for a minute.
Oh, yeah.
You can go to Chicago, you see cowboy jerseys. You can go to
DC,
especially in California on the West Coast.
DC too. Yeah.
DC, yeah. And you see cowboy jerseys. And that's why they say the Cowboys really don't have, a road game. Mm-hmm. Because you can look up in the stands and you got what? 50 split.
So with the Cowboys, you saw where the Redskins were bidding for $6.5 billion.
Yeah.
By these groups, and that's why I said the NFL.
Yeah.
I never forget. I was down at the Essen Music Festival in 2018 or 17.
Oh, and they had a few years ago.
Yeah, and they had before COVID. They had James Brown, JB. He was on the podium. So as I got through, they asked hands up for questions. So I raised my hand. Don Willis from Dallas, Texas. My question to you: do you see the NFL as a good old boy network? He said yes. I was surprised to hear him say it because CBS is a part of the NFL.
Really?
And he said yes, it is. He said no black owners, this and that, it should be. He broke it down. Yeah. So when that well-oiled machine is trained to keep folks out.
Yeah.
But they had another business group that tried to buy them, and they didn't want me. And I go back to the days of about 15 years ago when a black guy tried to buy the Minnesota Vikings for $600 million.
I remember that.
But they get Red McCombs wouldn't fall on it, and he passed on last week. You don't know Red McCombs, a white owner he owned Minnesota and the San Antonio Spurs at one time. So there was a black guy trying to buy him. He met the qualification, had the money, background check, but the owner voted him down. Yeah.
See, that goes to show y'all now. Y'all sitting up here rooting for these teams.
You better know
you better know
the backstory.
You better know some of the history of these teams, stories and stuff. I mean, I'm not telling you what to do, who to root for, anything like that. Family, that's your business.
No.
But you better know something about these teams. Well, it goes back to the Carolina Panthers at one time was said, the rumor was Jay-Z and a couple more.
Jay-Z
and some of these other guys.
Jay-Z and Stephen Curry.
Yeah, was trying to get together to own the Carolina Panthers.
And they wouldn't accept their bid.
They didn't accept their bid. But at that time, Richardson, the racist owner that was, the president of the organization, I ain't saying he was the owner, but the president, what's this guy name? Last name Richardson. But you know what I'm talking about.
Jerry Richardson.
Jerry Richardson. He played in the NFL.
He was the general manager for them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He was one of the main corporates that voted it down and said, in so many words, he's the Donald Trump of the NFL. He said, man, this ain't going to happen.
Well, that's the thing about the NFL.
It's just not going to happen.
The NFL, they moving slow on ownership. Nobody ever said
front office.
The black coaches, the Rosero room is a joke.
It's a joke.
But people know about the Rosero room that two black coaches must get an interview.
That's it.
Yeah. That's all it is.
That's all it is.
You don't say they must get hired.
Dallas Cowboys have never ever had a black head coach. Well, never even had a black offensive coordinator or a black defensive coordinator. Yeah. Closest you came was Chris Richard about 4 or 5 years ago when he was here in Dallas. That's the closest you came because Kiffin was so old. Yeah. And then the other
Oh,
guy,
the dad? You mean Kiffin the dad?
yeah, Kip and the dad.
Mhm.
And then had another guy that was there, walked around with a limp all the time. Those guys were so old that they let him, have a little leeway, here and
Right.
there, But you look at it, and you look at it from a historical standpoint, it's none, man. The only first black scout I knew, first black man that had any significance in the cowboy organization was John Woo,
John Wood, yeah.
who blocked for Jim Brown and went to bat, for a lot of civil rights organizations
in sports.
that's in sports that was,
Yeah.
Taking shape and taking place. I don't know if he's still living today,
One of the things that,
but he in the Hall of Fame for blocking for Jim Brown.
right. Well,
Yeah.
one of the things about me is my theory on NFL ownership. It happened to the great Walter Payton,
Yes,
and how the NFL
yes,
you would never be that poster child when it comes to money.
no,
You can do dunks, run touchdown, hit home run, they love you.
yeah,
But Walter Payton was a guy, family man, community man. He was just all you asked to be.
Jackson State people.
So when he went to put his group together to buy the St. Louis team,
Mhm.
the NFL turned him down.
Yeah.
No black owner nowhere.
No,
And they gave it to the lady.
Yep.
Miss Rosenblum. She
Sure
got him.
And moved him.
And she moved him.
And moved them. Here's
And
the
that's the
crazy
thing
part
about the industry.
She moved them.
Yeah.
And nobody ever talks about
We
it.
talked about that. So here's the NFL. Here y'all are. Is that y'all got the greatest running back of all time, a model guy, wife and 2 kids.
Yeah.
Why he couldn't be an owner? But and when I say NFL, I'm talking about the other coaches and everybody else who would have unanimously voted him in because he had the track record. But that's the thing. I was sitting there and watched that. How when it comes to being ownership of money, they turn you down.
They turned
quick.
him down quick.
Mhm.
And here's the sad part. He also got NASCAR to back him.
Mm-hmm.
They said, well, okay, what major sponsors do you have? Yeah, we're getting a little deep into this, family. And he said, okay. He said, I'll go to NASCAR. The same thing. What's that head coach that used to be with the Redskins?
Oh, you talking about Joe Gibbs?
Joe Gibbs was into NASCAR.
Yeah, he got Joe Gibbs racing.
Joe Gibbs kind of, influenced him. He said, well, get you a major sponsor, Walter. He said, okay, who? He said, this is how you play the game. Get you a sponsor, something like maybe NASCAR.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to bring in some money.
Right.
And you get some of the top racers to come, get you some drivers, some cars and stuff like that. And then that can help pool you some money to where the NFL will say, okay, we have to respect you. We have to give you this leverage. We have to give you this key to come on in. But it never happened. I don't know if the brother, illness starts setting in with it. But to me, Walter died of a broken heart.
Broken heart. I do too. I believe that.
I believe he did that.
Oh, he was so into want to be the first black owner. NFL franchise.
Because he talked about that.
Yeah.
He talked about that on a regular basis.
And then just in this day and time, you got an owner trying to sell his team, Michael Jordan. And I don't know what the ramification with the Charlotte Hornets and Mike is being an owner, but he's trying to sell a majority stake of his part to his I forgot this guy. He's from another foreign country, but anyway.
See,
wherever they finna sell, but Mike, they buy your shoes and support you. We should have something where our kids can look up to and say, oh, he's the owner of this team. Oh, I can do that job. I can get in there.
Yeah.
Because my thing is that what do you got everything in the world you want? What you need with folk of $1 billion?
My thing is that's money you'll never spend, and that's money you'll never see, and you'll never spend. And like you said, okay, you can always have your name attached to it and say, okay, I'm a billionaire. And I guess, in some senses, that's great and that's good. But I'm riding this car with you, and I see exactly what turns and roads you're going down. And it makes a lot of sense to me. And it's something you said that I pick up on now. What does what does it do for you?
Yeah.
I mean, how much are you really actually, you can't even spend $1 million if you live the next.
And this is my thing.
He's 60. Is he 60 now? Close to 60?
Mike?
Yeah.
62.
Okay.
This is
he lived another, 30 years?
Yeah.
Come on,
and this
man.
is the key is that it ain't like you making let's make a deal. You make a deal first time owner, but dude, you've been an owner for a majority owner of the team for 5, 6 years.
Yeah,
And you even got the name pushed back. But my thing is that sometimes we gotta leave a legacy for our kids more than money.
right.
So when kids come up and they see, it's a black owner.
Yeah.
Oh, she's the guy made the decision. Oh, a guy, he played both. But when you leave, but we are built to create legacy, and this financial legacy, we are Wakanda.
Well, see, we're going back. We're still into the slavery mentality.
Yeah.
We have to be players. We have to be, just like they put the best slaves against each other
Right.
for the white man's entertainment. This is what you're doing now. You putting your best team when you went to the Super Bowl. You had KC and Philadelphia. So those owners, like again, white owners, they sit up there in the press box watching their team, eating whatever they want to eat, people serving them, eating whatever they want to eat, Super Bowl, making money. The city, wherever the Super Bowl was making money. Teams are making money. Even the players are basically getting crumbs. They'll sit back and say, "Oh man, they gave us $150,000." Dude, you getting crumbs compared to what the owners are making.
When you look at, and that's the thing about high-profile jobs, I feel about, like in sports, is that you should every day save your money, start your business.
Yeah.
Or you and the guy get together around the league. You got enough money, their money. You should have your own production company or whatever.
And that's what I tell people about power play.
Yeah.
I say, when you come to power play, they make you feel special.
Oh yeah.
Hey, y'all better listen to them. They make you feel special. They make you feel like you somebody. When you come in here, not into here, I change, your English teachers that's out there. When you come inside of here, you come in and with, in a relaxed atmosphere, Spider's gonna work with you, or the other production producers work with you. And Miss Truth is phenomenal. I've met some of the other people, in the stable that come in, and some shows that's gonna be in just a second or two.
And the thing you saying,
this is beautiful, man.
That's what I'm pushing. I'm always pushing for is like black ownership, black entrepreneurship.
Let's do this.
Okay.
Let's do this. If y'all want to bring in a contribution, why don't y'all bring it up in the power play?
Yeah, bring it up. Yeah.
I mean, nobody's begging you or demanding or anything. You give your monies to the banks every Monday. You run to the bank. The churches do. Every other organizations will sit back and say, "Okay, we're going to do this with it. Come to power play."
But I think the thing is, we changing that mindset because
we need to.
We did have somebody tell us one time. This guy, he had a podcast with us, and he had 2 guys with him. And he said, "Mr. Black, try to get the other 2 guys to come do the podcast with me, but they said they don't want to." He said, "Why should do it?" Exactly what they said. They said, "Why should we go over there and give him money?"
You go get Jerry Jones your money.
But then when I broke it down, I said, "I don't worry about it. I said, what you mean, Mr. Willie? That wasn't good for you and me too." I said, "Well," I said, "tell them when they go home today at General Motors, it's a guy gonna get when he pay his car note." I said, "That guy get a bonus."
Yes.
All them on time. His daughter going to private school.
Exactly.
He said, "I said, there's a lady work at General Motors." I said, "She gonna get her second ski house."
Yeah.
Off your money.
Yeah.
So you question my credentials off of I guess you created my credentials. And I'm a business owner, but when it comes down to those people, you don't question them. Every day you go to grocery store, Kroger, you buy something.
Yep.
You paying them.
Paying
you get gas, you paying them.
You paying your Shell, you paying Exxon.
Yeah. So you always feel like, if I pay you, that's a black company. That's too much.
That's too much. Yeah.
No.
And it's crazy.
It's the industry.
It's really crazy to me. And I saw something years ago on Dead Presidents. It was a video they had out there. You remember that? And the funny part about it, the guy said, "Man, I'm tired of sending some doggone white cop kids off to university, off to college, educating them." He said, "Here I am making this money, but to pay the officer off to keep him off of his back, and that money was doing what? Going down the line to send the cop's kid to college to educate him."
Yeah, we education is the dollars we have.
We're thinking backwards.
Yeah, and that's the thing about That's the thing about being you run a business, you cannot be a consumer.
No.
And we so driven on consumerism
Mm-hmm.
because we never were trained per se like the stock market, how the lights work,
Yeah.
how places like that.
People don't even understand how the stock market. People just basically
No.
gambling with your money.
They gamble with your money.
Yeah, and you don't even understand that. And then, but you see a studio like Power Play, you should have people knocking on the door right now as we speak, trying to get in here. You know, Mr. Spider, you know, hey man, look, I want a show. Mr. Spider, I need to, you know, present this and put this out there to the public. You should have a line.
Well, let me ask you this: you've been a Dallas site all your life. Would Dallas ever have a black coach?
No. I said it out there quick. Never would ever have. No, Dallas would not even let this happen. Dallas, it used to be it was stigmatized as a place that killed the president of the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that for a minute. Everybody at that time in 1960 something, 63, always viewed Dallas as being the city that killed the president of the United States.
Yeah, it was blood on our hands.
Yeah, and still is today.
Yeah.
You know, you go downtown, we could pass through there right now, and you'll see some person on the corner selling up newspapers. And I ain't gonna lie to you, I had a little job one summer, and that's what I was doing, you know, because I had a background in throwing papers when I was growing up. I was down there, you know, selling newspaper about, you know, the fifth story building. That's, you know, where President
Yeah.
Yeah, I was.
That's a Texas book deposit.
Yeah.
Texas school deposit.
Yeah. And I was, you know, and I would walk around, you know, with the paper in there and everything. But it was always that stigmatized, the stigmatism was always put on the city of Dallas. Dallas would never, ever.
That was on it. And I think was softening it up with JR and them when Dallas TV.
Oh, yeah, 1985.
Yeah, it's softened up. But one of the things about, you speak of President John F. Kennedy got killed in Dallas, assassinated rather, in 1963 of November. But you know the NFL played that weekend?
They sure did. And you know who was the big proponent of that? You know, the big Tex Schramm, Dallas Cowboys manager, said he didn't see why that the team should not play. Somebody asked him what later on in, you know, did he have any regrets about just before he passed away? And his thing was, we played that Sunday. Yeah, you're right, Spike. And we were little kids at that time. If I was 6, you had to be 8.
I was 8. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, 7 going on 8.
Going on 8.
Forgot about that. Your birthday is funny. You were 7 and a half. I put it like that. Now, here's the funny part about that.
3rd grade.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Here's the funny part about that. He said that we played, and somebody asked him, I said, well, why did you play? He said, well, he said something kind of jokingly. Why stop playing? We felt like it was the thing to do. The president would want us to do this. He said something kind of crazy like that. But they played that Sunday.
I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, he did say that.
Did. He said something real comical, you know, going into what, you know, the conversation reporter asked him. But they played that day.
Well, let me ask you this. Speaking of the NFL and ownership and money, they said the next agenda that Dr. King had, it was all about money, about Black folks' empowerment and opportunities to have their own and yeah.
With Dr. King, the thing that really surprised me about Dr. King, when he started talking about the war in Vietnam, and you know, the war in Vietnam was this situation where, you know, those guys wasn't respected at all when they came back. They were like called baby killers, and they were called a lot of derogatory things. But the thing about Dr. King was, Dr. King had to change his philosophy on nonviolence. Because had he not, you know, he would went down in history as being an Uncle Tom, a puppet, all of that. Now we look at him and we say, well, Dr. King did this. He did some things, you know. Yeah. And then some things, you can't have violence on everything that's going on. He really helped out a lot. But Dr. King, getting back to what we talked about earlier, had a different philosophy. His philosophy started changing. Yeah. You know, as the time started changing, you know, you start thinking about that.
But speaking of Dr. King, and you know, you talking about the power of money, I'm just asking you, your opinion. Will we ever and I'm gonna say in the next 15 years, will we ever see a black commissioner in the big four sports?
No.
That's hockey, baseball,
No.
basketball, and football.
No, because
You
we
never
don't
see-
we don't know how to support each other. We don't know how to support
Ooh.
ourselves. I know I'm hitting real heavy and real hard. We want to support. I said, Spider, if we want to support power play.
Yeah, that's true.
Now,
That's
if you
true.
want to support that, how could you sit up here and say, I'm gonna go out here and support this
Yeah.
event or that event? Now, my friend, partner of mine, got a show coming up in September. Alexander got a big time blues show coming up. Okay. And the thing is, how many people gonna support that? How many people gonna go to it
That's
and
true.
support it? And this guy puts his neck on the line.
You know
on
what
this
gets
show.
me is that what I call the Papador North Park effect is how we'll go and get him, spend money, shop, and get him all the things that they want, which is money, and don't even come to your community, put in work or nothing. So that's why I say integration hurt us, because we would have our own stores, our own shop, our own barbecue place, our own restaurant, and I would have shopped there.
You demand, your company demand that we work. You demand that I work. You demand when I come in here, you demand that I work. I see professionalism when I come here. I don't mind supporting you. And a lot of people look at me, and I will support Spider. I go on the line saying it. You know, I will support Spider. Whatever Spider feels like he can benefit from. If he needs a benefit, of course, you check with your significant others and stuff like that. Yeah, and make sure that everybody's on the same page.
Well,
but I'm going to support Spider, and I hope everybody out there that's listening.
But one of the things about here at Power Play, teaching at Power Play, is that we want Coach William and any of y'all out there to come in and do your podcast with your opinion.
Yeah.
There's no producer from Keller or South Lake telling him what to say.
No.
And nobody keeping it, and then ain't nobody know how important he's talking about but him.
It's important
because in the industry, you go say, well, I'm going to do a show on black ownership in all the big four sports. That producer knock you down because he or she is white.
This is clean. The atmosphere is clean. It's quiet. You got good music.
You don't get
people ain't running in loud and hollering and screaming and stuff like that. It's a comfortable atmosphere that you can relax. You can get your thoughts together. You can talk on a topic on an intelligent way. And these are things that we have to be. It's a blessing to have
it's a blessing.
People like Power Play.
It's a blessing.
And I'm gonna go out and continue. And I know
because it's been days when I wanted to give up, shut down.
And I know it. I can hear it in your voice.
But I
can hear it in your voice.
But I go back.
I can't let you do it.
And not only you, I got other folks that I look at. I say, oh, they got to get there because I done had a ride.
Right.
But I want them to ride too.
Let me ride. Yeah.
Let them go get to interview these people and bring in their narrative. And that's the key.
Yeah.
Having your own narrative.
And that's what I prayed for a long time. I used to always say to myself, I said, I need a voice. And, I need a voice where I can put out there and people can see and say, okay, this is what he represented. And you know what? I was blessed to be able to get that. So the thing is to take it, and continue to run with it and continue to, make those, as they say, make those moves that you need to make and have other people that want to, ride along with you on some weekends and stuff. And then, we can move on from there.
Well, I just love what's missing is that you got documentation. Is that you got documentation what you talk about.
Exactly.
And so they can go to the archives anywhere and they can go see that information.
Just get the
because
information.
What happened, the stuff that you talk about, and we still live in that world too, because we don't go around and really find this raw stuff.
Right.
The stuff you talking about, a celebrity or hip hop or whoever it may be, they get your same story and tell it and get credit for it.
Yeah. And we don't get anything.
You get nothing.
And here's the funny part about it. We could teach a class on this. And we said that before. DISD, people in DISD that's listening to the show, and I don't want to put too much out there, put something in somebody's head that's not going to do anything. You can take what we're doing to teach a class.
Yeah.
And give these kids something that they can have, something that they can hold on to. This is knowledge and history that every generation gets pushed further and further and further back. Like
back.
I'm looking at them trees outside, it just goes back. And it's you have other people telling our story, like Brother Blair was here, a few weeks ago. He was saying we allow other people to tell our story. When you allow other people to tell your story, it becomes their story. It don't even become your story.
But
and you used to get on me. You got on me one time, and I never will forget this. You said, "Don't put everything out there."
Don't put everything out there. Yeah.
You said because somebody's going to take Williams, what you do, and they're going to take it. They're going to run with it. Next thing you know, you're going to see what you were talking about across a bulletin board. And the next thing you know, you sitting back wondering how it happened because somebody else is benefiting off of the back.
And that's why paperwork is so important. Email yourself that you're putting this out there. So you show this day, I put out this software, blah, blah. So now you have to get paid.
Yeah.
You have to get paid.
You got to get paid.
Even from the smallest term to the largest term, you have to get paid. But real quick, I know you got to get out of here. The real quick is that I really don't want Michael Jordan to sell that to you, because no, him selling it is not that it's not part of American history. It's a part of, if you get him out, then it's hard to get another brother in the buy team.
Just look at Major League Baseball.
Yeah. Well,
in baseball, we grew up under the confinements of baseball. Black people played baseball.
Well, we almost had Chicago White Sox got almost bought by, I don't know, but that black guy, the two black guys, and they turned them down. Only one person that you came close. The only black manager that I know that became an assistant of anything, and me and Brother Blair, I don't know if we touched on this enough, was Bruce Foster out of Calvert, Texas. Mm-hmm.
Now a lot of people are going to say, well, how long ago was that? That was back in the 20s and the 30s, but you go all the way back up to now.
Oh, he know the model.
2023. You don't have none.
None.
You don't have none. You're not even in hockey.
No,
you don't. Not even in hockey.
No.
And you think about that for a minute. And so, before we get out of here, before we, got to, vacate the premises and everything.
Right.
Before our ride come to a halt. Hey y'all, let's research, some of this stuff.
See what some of the stuff that's going on. And that's the thing. What you're saying is that sometimes I watch the folks at the game. They got their jerseys on, all they paraphernalia. But do you really know your program, your team?
Yeah.
Do you know some of the causes, what they are, who they get their money to?
Yep.
Stuff like that.
But look at the colleges. When you go support a college, how much that college is really, you really giving to that college, how much that college is really benefiting from you wearing they, paraphernalia, So it's a lot of things that I think we need to really, refocus on, and so we can have our priorities, set. So when I like to keep my gun loaded, what I mean my gun, my dome, my head loaded. Because it's going to be some guys out here going to challenge us. It's going to be some authority out here, they say, that's going to challenge what we say. And that's why I keep my books. I try my best to be as well read as I can. And, because I know it's going to come that time where somebody's going to want to challenge what we say. And like you said, next thing you know, it'll be on ESPN, it'll be on the Stephen A. show. And I'll be sitting back and say, wait a minute, I said that.
No, they said it. I proved it.
But somebody else will take it and run with it.
And you dissect it and you add things to it. Because sometimes in this day and time with this thing called a phone and tablet, folks still too lazy to do research.
Yeah. And that's sad, man.
It's right in front of you.
Yeah.
Well, back in the day, we'd go to the library, reference card.
We go downtown to the bookstore and buy magazines.
Yeah.
Nobody had. We grew up in the era where the teacher said you had to research this. And your research had to be adequate.
Yeah.
You couldn't just go to nowadays. I don't even know if they even research anything in school.
I don't think they do a research paper.
Man, we had to do term papers. Where you had to research. You had no choice. You couldn't just walk up in the teacher classroom. Man, they would give you that paper back so fast.
Put that red on.
Bleed your paper out. That's what we.
I had a teacher named Miss Trim, the prettiest lady, sharp dresser, Miss Trim, sweet as can be. And she had that beautiful handwriting. When she do get your paper and she put them red marks on it, it feel like somebody done hit you in the head. But you see it on there. They need to put our reports on the board. I like that.
Yeah, me too.
You put your report on the board, see where you stand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, it make you work harder.
It make you work harder.
Said, shoot, I'm gonna get Coach Williams today.
Yeah.
Oh, he number 77. I'm
Yep.
75, 72. Oh, you gotta do that work harder than that. Yeah.
And man, you felt pride when somebody saw your paper
Oh
up there on
yeah.
the bulletin
Oh
board.
yeah.
Or the teacher come by and give you a compliment and say, Spider, I really like that. I like that source.
And I think
You know what I
that's a
mean?
part of integration too, because we did report each other.
Yeah.
We did. It
Man,
wasn't
you did
oh, yeah.
reports, man. You could, I don't know what English teacher from the time, man, let me think, elementary all the way through, I would say through college, that I never had, I always had to do a book report. Always. And here's the funny part about it, you had to read the book.
I had to read the book. You want to just
You would just sit up there and just
No.
say, oh, I'm gonna go to Miss,
you gotta read that book.
what's your teacher's name?
Miss Trill.
I can't, hey, I'm just gonna walk in Miss Trim class.
Nah.
I'm gonna pick up this
Trust
book.
me, when you write them, when you had to do return paper, research paper, you had to read a book twice sometimes to get it.
That's it, because some things you didn't understand in certain words that you didn't really, understand, and you couldn't really, man, what is that? What do that mean? I had many times, my mother had encyclopedia. I'm saying, I know we got to go. My mother had encyclopedias, and I used to read a book over and over again just to make sure I had the right concept. Wow, man. All right, Spider.
All right, well, it's that time. I appreciate you letting me ride with you today.
Yes, sir. We're gonna do it again next week. We're gonna keep the gas in the tank.
Keep it the same.
Yeah, we're gonna be ready to roll.
Just on the folks that you before you go, who you got coming?
Man, look here. Next week, I'm trying to get Brother Clay back so he can talk about his blues festival. He's one of the top blues festivals in the area.
And then you got
and then down the road, we got Brother Dinka.
Brother Dinka.
Yeah, he's coming in.
You rescheduling Dana
and then
the fitness place.
Yeah. Right. On the business side of it,
Yeah.
Miss D, and I got to get with her and everything. Let her pick out her dates. Yeah. So we got some friends coming down the road.
Well, I'm looking forward to be hanging.
Yeah, we got some friends.
Place.
We got some friends.
So we'll sign off. Sign you folks out.
And we're gonna sign off, and we'll see y'all again. Good Lord's willing, everybody, next week. Have a good one. I like this show.
Hold on. Let me cut that off for me. Oh, wait a minute.